Keep you back into our coverage of the Pilot Flying J South Atlantic Conference Championships. The Tusculum Pioneers have won the tournament championship for a fourth time in school history, and they have knocked off the Lincoln Memorial University Rail Splitters here this afternoon. It's the third time this season they've been able to do that against LMU, winning it back-to-back, joining themselves 2010, 2011. Wingate did it in 2015 and 16. The next teams to do it, Newberry in 06 and 07, Wingate 96, 97. The only team to do it three times was Presbyterian back in the day. 98, 99, 2000. So the only team that can win it three times would be the Pioneers next season. Joined by Pioneer coach Meagan Price in your first season.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the radio side of things, but listen, your preseason number 7, lost 4,000 points to graduation a season ago.
Right.
You came in and we talked a lot about, well, we got some really great pieces here. And you were so confident in talking about, man, I know we've got some great pieces here. And then the wins started accumulating. How proud are you of this team being able to overcome a lot of stuff that went on through this season?
So proud. For them, like we talked about before, just that buy-in from our group has been phenomenal from the beginning. When I got here, I was so excited because I already had my system that I wanted to run, and I thought these kids are going to fit perfect into it. So I know, everybody else, like even when we did our first interview, everybody's, building that up. They're like, hey, you lost 4,000 points worth of players. And I'm like, we got great players for what I want to do. And so I just thought they did a phenomenal job. I mean, all year long, our kids have just bought in from the beginning. And it goes back to that first game at Wingate when we get a backdoor set. And from there, we never stopped rolling. It was a belief system all the way through. We've been together this whole time, and I'm just so proud of the kids.
Yeah, one of those seasons that you can't really explain, but you can definitely cherish and enjoy. And one of the people who earned an MVP here was Maddie Sutton, who said, from the beginning, she got a lot more out of me than I even knew I had in me. But I think for your players, that's the type of coach you are for them. You didn't come in and try to change them, but you just tried to build on their strengths.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I tried to get in here early just to see what they could do. And I watched them play a lot, and I just wanted to see, okay, well, what can Maddie do? What can Jay do? What can they bring to the table? And then let's put them in those situations to make them successful instead of coming in and trying to change them. And I think that that's huge for them. And we're already experienced in some ways, but not when it comes to a tournament time and all these kids playing those big minutes. And so for us, just being able from the get-go to find their strengths and then build on those has been awesome for us.
We'll get to the game because I think in this championship game it had so many peaks and valleys, but it started out as a heavyweight fight. And I think between the two teams, a lot of nerves early. Yeah. Was there a sense that you felt like you got your team calmed down at one point in the game?
It from the beginning, and I knew this coming in because, we just played them like 3 weeks ago, and they jumped onto us in the first half, and I knew they weren't as good of a second half team. And so I just thought, okay, if we can withstand any runs in the first half, get our nerves out, then we're good to go in the third and fourth quarter. And I thought that they did a great job coming out, like our girls coming out and being ready in that third quarter, and then kind of settling down at the end of the second, and just preaching defense and like not getting in foul trouble, those type of things, because there for a minute, that's the only time I got nervous because I thought if we lose somebody, it's going to be tough and we're going to have to grind. But we've tried to talk about those scenarios all week in case something like that happens as a coach and staff.
You go on the run from the first half to the second half, trailed at halftime, but you had it where you wanted it. I think a very manageable game. You take the lead, you go up 10, then they respond and hit some big shots. And I think the turning point, obviously, Belton's three, she was fouled. The next possession, Arnwine hits the three. Obviously the turning point in the game.
Yeah, it was huge, and that when that ball came back out to Maya and she made that three, and you can tell when it leaves her hands, and the fact that she has that confidence to take that three in that moment and then get fouled, I felt from there we never looked back. And I know they were cutting it close, and I just kept telling our coaching staff, I was like, we just got to get the lead with 5 minutes to go. We just got to get the lead. And so that was big to keep preaching, like, let's get stops because we'll execute down here, we'll be fine. And I mean, this is our end. So, like, we do a lot of stuff down here, too, because I was telling Josh that, like, we probably need to be doing more stuff on that end because we don't have great first half sometimes, but this is our end. So anytime I can talk to him down here on offense and kind of put them where I need them to be, execution is key for us in that second half.
Well, it was timely threes. You didn't have a lot of them in the contest.
Yeah, they were, though. You're right.
They were very timely in the game. And your MVP, Maddie Sutton, with her 19th nation-leading double-double, went coast to coast and turned the tide completely, and I couldn't believe it. And I think it was one of the fun moments.
Yeah, it was. And I'm telling you, we do it every day, and it's so funny because sometimes I'll want to get out of that to do another drill. And, we have our drills where we continuously stay in shape, and that's one of them where we're literally pitching it ahead and going coast to coast. And one day I didn't do it last week, and they were like, we got to go coast to coast, coach. And I'm like, y'all want to do that? I thought that was miserable for you. So ever since then, it's taken off, but it's paid dividends in games like this because now we know to finish off two, and we got the rally from the bench, all that stuff.
And really, this is a team it's so veteran, but you've placed them on the floor. And, a lot of these people on this team with lots of minutes this year, they've accumulated it, where against UVA-Wise, a disappointing loss heading into a tournament could have turned a lot of other teams, I think, away. Both LMU and you were in the same situation at the end of the regular season. So how gratifying is it to go from that to where you are right now?
It's so gratifying. Just from the get-go, I feel like it goes back to, it goes back to that buy-in that me and you've been talking about from the beginning. And I feel like that the kids just wanted it. And I thought that the toughness down the stretch and the toughness down the stretch of the season was huge for us. And, it is. It's gratifying. I don't have words for it, really.
Right. Because you weren't given a lot of credit at the beginning of the year. So to finish it off is pretty awesome. The players, Maddie Sutton was here, and she was talking about it, and I'll bring it back up again. I just felt like Coach got more out of me because she worked on my strengths. And I think for this team, I can go back to Bree Dixon. She wasn't that big of a factor last season, but she came on late in the tournament and became a defensive factor, for this team. And I think today she got the big offensive foul call that really turned the tide, especially late, and made sure that they did not get that run to come back. And I think for this team and what you have done and molded their talents and strengths results into what we see today, a championship-type setting. So when you start first time to now, and I know in that interview with Doug, you were like, I know we can win because I know that had to be the way that had to have gone.
Yeah.
And to actually pull through for it, how gratifying is it for you personally?
Oh, it's awesome, but it goes back to, I love coaching these kids. And, I told them yesterday, too, there's a lot of things that, there's a lot of outside noise coming into this game, because Coach Carter coached them and now I'm coaching them this year. And I said, it's not about me. It's not about Coach Carter. It's about you guys. Mm-hmm. And it's you guys saying, okay, we can do this no matter what. It doesn't matter who coaches us. We have the ability to win the basketball game. And we're not playing LMU. We're playing ourselves. And we're playing ourselves from the time that we step on the floor, focus, execution, getting defensive stops. I knew today that we could win as long as we kept our minds on what we're good at and we weren't focused so much on the other team. And it's been a long time since we did that, but I was trying to kind of cool everybody's jets a little bit because I knew they would be nervous. But it goes back to the kids. The kids deserve every bit of this, and it's just been cool. I hugged Maddie at the end, and I said, it's just been cool to be a part of it. Right. Even as a coach, I'm just humbled that I'm able to coach these kids.
Into the NCAA tournament now, second year in a row for Tusculum. They didn't get a chance to do it last season. How dangerous do you think you can be going forward?
I think we can be pretty dangerous, and I think what makes the tournament crazy this year is the fact that we haven't seen other teams. Everybody's been in their conference. And for us, I feel like our scouting report plays to that, and it helps us a lot because once you see us a couple of times live, it can be different. But the fact that nobody's seen us besides video and we haven't played anybody, it's just going to be different. But I really think that we have a chance to make a run, and I know our kids are ready for it.
Tournament champions. Got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, a nice ring.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Meagan Price, first season as the Pioneer head coach, claiming the fourth programmed tournament championship here tonight on their home floor, a first ever for Tusculum as well. I'm Brian State with Coach Meagan Price for SAC Live.